Remember, there's some pretty important information here in the disclaimer. You might want to give the video a quick pause and read it.
Oh, hey everybody, it's me, Sonic! Sonic the Hedgehog! Just here to remind you that if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button. And for even more amazing customs, don't forget to subscribe to Wake Angel 2001, because between you and me, they're way past cool.
Hello friends, this is Wake Angel 2001 coming at you with the next part of Ryan's commission. It is another one of his D&D characters, Razer the Assassin. Now Razer is another race, I want to say, from Dungeons & Dragons that I hadn't heard before taking on this commission, Warforged. I'm not sure if Warforged is a class or a race because I don't know a lot about D&D. I asked Ryan about it, and he said that basically it's D&D's equivalent of a robot. Although given the low technology fantasy base of that franchise, golem is probably the more appropriate term. He's a mechanical man is what I gained from that, so that's what I'm going to be treating him as for the remainder of this video. So, as we just have a very dapper-looking gentleman in a suit here, I had to get a rather dapper base figure, and the ostensibly perfect base would be Jazzwares' 6-inch Fortnite figure of Wildcard. You know, the one where you can swap out the masks to have different card suits, that thing. And it's one of those figures that has like a torso made out of the hard plastic, so you can't take the hips and shoulders out, but you know, you can at least take the arms and legs off because they're attached by bicep and thigh swivels. And the jacket is actually like soft plastic, almost rubbery, which I was able to just easily take off. Now, this is the part where I say, if they ever release a color variant of this guy that's already wearing a black suit, I'm going to be really irritated because this took a really long time to repaint. I mean, it's ostensibly a pretty simple job, just taking the white suit and turning it black, except, like, you know, it's the entire figure. Like, minus a couple of things like the shirt, like the folds on the pockets, the little bits of his sleeve that come out from under the suit jacket, you know, that kind of thing. Like, this was an extensive repaint job, and the whole thing had to be done evenly, and I had to, like, really get into the joints, and I had to go over with crazy glue on, like, the sections of the torso movement so that it wouldn't scrape themselves apart. And, of course, the elbows, knees, shoulders, and hips are all made out of that unpaintable nylon plastic, so, like, they still use the unpaintable plastic even though the joints are softly ratcheted, so I mean, I guess that prevents like cracking, but still it means that he's going to have white parts on the inside of his joints, which I can't do anything about because there's nothing for it. Oh well. That's not to say that this figure was entirely a repaint, because there was a little bit of resculpting, mostly to put on that robotic jaw thing that he has going on. For some reason, it kind of reminded me of the character from Destiny, the one that featured in the advertising that was, like, he had that face with the jaw. I don't know, like, that's what it reminded me of. He has a prominent robo-jaw. And I know it looks like I screwed up a little bit, but that's where I did a thing there. I'll show you in a second. I also made him his hat, because a dapper gentleman is not complete without his hat. And it is the miniskirt from that Tina Belcher figure that I used to make Princess Sally. What a striking coincidence that happened to be the perfect size and shape. I cut a triangle into the top to be that folded look. Like, I'm not sure if this is a fedora. It looks like a fedora, but I'm not a real hat expert, so I don't know if it's technically a fedora or if there's some other obscure hat type that this would be. But yeah, like, I used epoxy sculpt to like fill in the top of it and make the hat brim, and On the inside, you can actually see how it took the shape of the top of his head, which means that it actually nestles really well on top of there, and it goes on and off, and like, I mean, you can't really turn the figure upside down, but you can like repose and lean the figure over, and it's not going to fall off. And then the head is painted. I left his jaw painted, like a dull, darker shade of gray, while the majority of his face is painted silver. I think this kind of creates the look of like a 5 o'clock shadow, like this guy's really trying to be that hard-nosed detective type. You know, I am certain that there was a robot assassin in an episode of Samurai Jack that kind of looked exactly like this, and I do not apologize whatsoever, because that's kind of hilarious and awesome. He has a scar over his right eye, and he's always chewing on a toothpick, which I made out of a toothpick. I cut the tip off the end of a toothpick, and I pushed it into the jaw to create a little divot that it would naturally set in, and then I glued it in place. So yeah, we have a thing. I wonder, should I make alternate faces that don't have the toothpick, because I still have the other 3 face plates, and the face swapping gimmick should still work because I didn't sculpt anything on top of it. I'll ask Ryan about it. I can always just paint another face. But let's take a look at the completed figure. We have our very dapper gentleman capable of tipping his hat to you, and also homaging Kamen Rider's skull. Are you ready to count up your sins? I don't know, does the Kamen Rider Skull reference still fly after all this time? I've never really watched Kamen Rider Skull except for, like, that one, like, I did watch the Kamen Rider Double movie, so, like, it had a cameo from Skull in it, but, you know, it was fun. But yeah, that's the Warforged, Razer the Warforged Assassin. I know Assassin is probably his, wait, what do you call him in D&D? What do you call the roles? Is that your job, your profession, your specialty? I'm not really sure. He's an assassin. He's an assassin, he is a mechanical man, and he looks damn good in that suit. And this is Awake Angel 2001, signing off.